Well, this isn't the most ideal time that I would want to film this video since I am sick, but I have pushed this off to the absolute limit because by the time that I'm filming this, it is almost 2025, which means we have to film our 2024 recap video. But that also means I can't talk about 2024 until Coleman comes out with the recap. I guess that means it's done. Coleman, roll it!
MonadoMax is a king. He's gonna make Switch history. He's gonna own everything. One day you'll see. He goes to conventions. He makes new inventions. Like when he built a new shelf with his grandpa. He has the best intentions. He's got the best collection. He's a game collecting outlaw. He makes great clickbait, cause it's always better than it seems. Cause Max is a king and we are his Monado Marines. We are Monado Marines. We will always follow our king. We are Monado Marines. We will always follow our king.
We started off this year with a crazy video. It is probably the most difficult video that I have filmed on this channel other than the specials. And the specials, I mean, like the Halloween special, that took over a month to film because of scheduling. But this video, this thing took so much out of me. That was the Nintendo Switch collection video. Now, what I did different for the Switch collection video this year than I have previous years is I took the entire Nintendo Switch collection downstairs to do that thumbnail. And that's honestly the only reason why that video was difficult. But it took me over an hour of bringing the Switch games up and down. So 2 hours total, because I have too many Nintendo Switch games. It was a mess. I had to bring a tote down. Like, I went up and down, up and down, up and down like crazy. I believe Coleman has the footage, and there was so many files of just me coming back into the room with the Switch games. Like, it was absolutely crazy. But it was cool to have that video out, as I think it was a really good job of detailing the Switch collection, and I am scared to be filming that in a few days this year, or when this comes out, 2025. Or actually, no, this isn't coming out 2025. It comes out on New Year's Eve. Oh my goodness, I am so scared to film the 2025 Nintendo Switch collection video. Oh my gosh. Wish me luck, guys. We went back to the limited run store. This is one of many visits that we did this year. Love that store to death, love the employees. Such a fun time being in that store. We later then had our most popular video on the channel. And I'm not really sure why this one became the most popular video on the channel, but it did. I didn't really see anything crazy about the thumbnail or title, but it worked, whatever reason it did, and that was the Rare Switch Games video. We did part 3, I believe is what this one was, and it became our biggest video on this channel. People went crazy over it. We have so many new subscribers from that video, and it was a really successful video. And the Rare Switch Game videos already took off beforehand, but that really started that whole series into a whole new thing for people. It was very surprising to see how popular that one became. And I want to point out that a lot of the times January and February are YouTubers' worst months in terms of ad revenue and viewership, where people just take a break from YouTube. And I want to say that this year, in terms of ad revenue compared to the year before that, January and February were our biggest ad revenue numbers ever on the channel, which I consider that a big accomplishment because, like I said, typically ads are big time down because these companies spend a lot of money on advertisements for November, December during the Christmas time to push sales. So a lot of people don't make a lot of money in February and January when it comes to YouTube. And yeah, we crushed it. I mean, it was our biggest month on YouTube at the time. We've had bigger months then. Like almost every month was a bigger month for us when it came to ad revenue on YouTube, which I think is an accomplishment in itself. And in terms of money that we made this year compared to last year, we made way more on YouTube this year. And I hope next year to follow that pattern of upping the numbers. We also had our first of many GameStop Chronicle videos come out, which was the Ultimate Apollo Justice unboxing video, where it took us 20 minutes to pick up the game because the GameStop employee didn't know where it was. And we were begged to buy the protection plan. You know, I don't think I told anybody this, but when that video came out, the manager of that GameStop at the time reached out to me apologizing of how that employee acted, which I thought was very interesting. You know, I was like, oh no, is the manager going to be happy that I was filming into the store? But I mean, I know GameStop policy on filming in there, and we have not broken that policy yet, so they can't really say anything about it. Either way, that was one of many GameStop Chronicle issues that we've had happen this year. It's quite funny because a lot of the things that have happened this year when it comes to GameStop, it's quite unbelievable, and it's cool that we have it on film. We jump into February, which happened to be my first trip out of North Carolina with my grandpa, actually. We went down to Atlanta. Now, what's cool about this is Atlanta was one of my favorite places to visit, but there was a comic convention that was going on. And the main reason why we were going here is because there was a bunch of Walking Dead cast members going to be there, and it was just going to be a fun event overall. We hadn't had a chance to do Atlanta in a very long time, and me and my grandpa used to do Atlanta almost every single year for the longest time until these convention companies shut down that we used to go to. Now, what's cool about this is we had the chance to make a video out of this, and there's a lot of things that people don't know about the Atlanta Comic Convention video that came out that I think is pretty cool. So obviously, I think one of my talents when it comes to YouTube is I often have the ability to turn nothing into something. And I feel like that was really utilized within the Atlanta Comic Convention, because obviously that area did not have many Nintendo Switch booths out there. In fact, I think there was only one booth. But we were able to make a very entertaining story and a very awesome video out of trying to find Switch games, I felt like. Really the only reason why this video existed is because of one of the people that was in it. Now, as you guys know, I am a huge fan of The Walking Dead. In fact, I have met pretty much everyone in the cast. Like, I'm not joking. I have, I think, met 99% of the cast. I have photos with majority of them. And one of them I am actually pretty good friends with. Cooper Andrews. Cooper Andrews has been a very early supporter of this channel, and I have met him many times, like many times, as I was a kid. So it's kind of crazy to see how I've known him since I was a kid, and here I am now doing this YouTube channel stuff. He knew I was coming, and I talked to him the day before we filmed, and he was like, dude, I would really like to be in one of your videos. We need to make this happen. How can I be in one of your videos? And I was telling him, I was like, I mean, if you want, I will try to make something out of this convention where I can make it into a Nintendo Switch game hunting video. The rest is history. We had Jackson with us. Jackson was a part of it. And yeah, we got to film with Cooper. Now, the crazy thing when it comes to the skit that's happening with Cooper in that video is that a lot of people think all of it was staged. Because if you watch that video, you would have seen that Norman Reedus shows up, which if you see the clip right now, we have a few seconds of it playing of Norman Reedus just randomly popping up into the video. This was not planned. And yeah, I think we all did a pretty good job of playing a part of it. We have Norman Reedus in a video, which is kind of crazy to say, but Norman Reedus is part of the MonadoMax storyline, I guess, that's going on over there. Either way, it was so cool to have Cooper in the video, and I'm sure in the future there might be some way that he'll be in another video because he enjoyed doing that. It was very cool to him doing that, and very awesome because it was cool to have Walking Dead be into the channel in some form since of how much I love The Walking Dead. I love boxing, I love The Walking Dead, I love Marvel, and I obviously love Nintendo. And this year I feel like I was almost able to incorporate all of that into this year when it came to the channel, which is just really cool. It was a fun video overall, and I think it was a great experience doing something like that. So we jump into March, and I thought I made a pretty cool video. I think a lot of people didn't like it. The title was a little bit or not really the title, I'd say more the thumbnail was a little bit clickbait. But a lot of people that watched the video in full had a blast with this video, and that was playing Call of Duty on the Nintendo Switch. We did the thumbnail looking like we actually were playing Call of Duty, but what we played was, I think, called like Call of Heroes, The Duty of Warfare, something like that. It was like a ripoff of Call of Duty that someone put on the Nintendo Switch, and it was pretty bad. It was one of my favorite videos that I had filmed this year, though. And I really enjoyed it because like the game was so bad that we made it into like a funny thing. And everyone really loved the video if they watched it full. We had a few people that was mad. It's like, oh, what? I thought you were actually going to play Call of Duty on the Nintendo Switch. Well, not yet. Switch 2 sounds like is when we'll get the Call of Duty experience. We'll see, though. That's another thing I want to say that I'm really happy about when it comes to this channel this year, is that we did not have to worry about really making Switch 2 videos. We made a few videos this year, mainly covering the fact how I was annoyed people talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. I think we only did one video covering the Switch 2's leaks in terms of the magnetic Joy-Cons. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the only video we made. We might have made like top 10 or top 7 games that we would like to see on the Switch 2. But in terms of leaks, we really didn't cover anything like that. And I'm really happy to say that since like every YouTuber covered it and like big time covered it. In fact, spammed it on their YouTube channel. And that did not happen with us. And I'm really proud of that. And I think the hard work of making that decision, because I obviously could have done it and really banked on it, really profited off the Switch 2 leaks like many did. But I just felt that would have been annoying and really wasn't happy with those type of videos. And I'm sure many of those YouTubers that made those videos didn't like making them either. They're probably lying to themselves. And I think it's important to make videos that you're happy with making. We jump straight into Princess Peach Showtime. So by the time that Princess Peach Showtime came out, I was in Nashville, Tennessee for a boxing event. I believe I was there for Misfits 13, I believe is what the number was. And before Misfits, Princess Peach came out, so I had to film the ultimate unboxing in Nashville. And we did it at a GameStop. And this GameStop, I thought I was going to die. I'm not even joking, I'm not even exaggerating. There was this guy who was probably maybe like 30, 40, really excited for the Princess Peach game, but I had it in my hand first, and I didn't have a pre-order, he didn't have a pre-order. I brought it up to the GameStop booth, and I was like, hey, I'd like to pick this up. And then the guy was like, wait a minute, I was here too for the game. And he was in the store first, but I was in line first. So it's one of those things that you're like, it's awkward. And I was the one that ended up buying the game, and the guy was pretty mad about it. And then I filmed the video outside, and he was in his car just staring at me. and it took me like 5 or 6 minutes to do that whole video outside, and he just continued to stare at me, and I genuinely thought that something might happen where he was just going to, once the phone was done, we were done filming, he was just going to go out of his car, attack me for the Princess Peach game, and then dip. But nothing happened. I'm still here, and I'm very curious what happened with that, because yeah, I know the GameStop employee tried to help him find where another Princess Peach was, but yeah, crazy story, and one of many crazy GameStop Chronicles stories. That's what we'll call it, the GameStop Chronicles, because that's what this year was. I mean, I'm a big fan of GameStop, but like when it came to me filming a video, something crazy would always happen. But when I didn't have the cameras on, it was just like a normal GameStop experience. Which I know for many that's not a good thing, but I've always had good GameStop experiences outside of being on camera. Because when I had the camera on, it's just bad luck, I guess. But then we jump into the next day, which was Misfits Boxing. And what had happened had to have been one of the craziest experiences of my life. The event got swatted. Yes. If you want to know the storyline, a quick summary of it, Misfits Boxing kind of had some drama with Aiden Ross. You know Aiden Ross, he's one of the biggest streamers out there, and you probably are aware that his community is mostly pretty toxic, let's just be honest here. And Aiden Ross's community just did not like the fact that Misfits was just, you know, doing their thing, and they decided to attack Misfits Boxing. Not Aiden Ross, but his community. And they called a lot of threats into the venue, and yeah, they actually had to pause the boxing. They were literally in the middle of a boxing fight, and they had to stop the fight, which made it into a no contest because of all the threats. And never in the sport of boxing have we seen something like that, where the event is paused, there's these major threats where all the people that's in the video are outside, and like all the boxers, people, just the whole DAZN team outside. It had to have been one of the craziest things ever. We were all outside in the cold for over an hour. And yeah, the event got to continue, but I honestly thought they were going to cancel it, because in most situations, people would have just canceled the event right then and there with everything that was going on. But yeah, that did not happen. And we got a pretty cool video out of it. Granted, it wasn't Nintendo, but I enjoyed doing it because obviously the Misfits boxing scene is where I would be entering once I entered this boxing level. And the boxing, I guess we'll talk about it right now. Boxing I've been doing so good at. I have not posted any footage for a reason, and it's because when I post footage, I want you to see like a 1 to 10 crazy improvement, which you're already going to see whenever I post footage because I've done so well. Don't want to flex, but we have a Golden Glove champion saying that I'm moving like Mike Tyson in there. I'm just saying. But it's going to be exciting when you guys see more of my boxing footage, because it's been such a big difference of what's happened. And this is when I started to go kind of freaky with my titles, and which was a interesting decision by me, because if y'all know me, only person that really knows this much about me is Mason. Mason knows that I like to have a straightforward title, straightforward thumbnail. I don't want any gimmicks to it. But unfortunately, with how YouTube's algorithm is, you can't do that. You have to be weird with your title. You have to be weird with your thumbnail. It can't be an amazing thumbnail. It has to be a basic thumbnail. And I decided, you know what? I was like, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go freaky with it. And I did some different titles, and those did really well on the channel. It was around April when I decided to do this, and I filmed some game hunting videos in Nashville, and that's when I tried these titles out, and it worked very well. And because of that, I decided going forward, we would still be doing titles like this. And here we are this year, still doing titles like that, and it has been very beneficial. I feel like a goal for 2025 is I want to get more freakier with the titles. I think there's room for that. I'm just scared to do that, just due to the fact that this whole YouTube game, it's a numbers game. You really got to be smart with it. And being smart is sometimes doing the freaky things with titles. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I would hate for a video to do really bad because I just decided that I wanted to do something different with the title. But we're starting to learn this program more and more each year, and I think we did really well with the titles this year. A goal for next year is I want to get more weirder with it and see how far we can get into the viewership numbers. We did another Rare Switch Games video. That one blew up like crazy. And around this time, we are going to New York City in April. I went there for the Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia fight. But if y'all know New York City, there is so much opportunity to do videos, especially what a lot of people go to New York for, the Nintendo New York store. I had not been there since 2018 when Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out. And it was so cool to be back there, being able to film an incredible video. I think we did such a good job with the Nintendo New York store tour video. And not only that, we filmed other videos. We went to Video Games New York. I thought we did a really good video there. Then we went to J&L Games, which, wow, that place is very expensive. But that store was awesome, seeing all those Switch games there. In fact, I think that's our most popular game hunting video, is the J&L Game Store video. And to be able to go there, to experience New York again while filming videos, while also being at a boxing fight, and not just a boxing fight, one of the biggest fights of the year, which was Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. I'm going to give y'all a quick boxing summary. A lot of the times when you have a big boxing event, it doesn't typically come over here. A lot of the times you see these events in Las Vegas, because that's where you can get the biggest gate, the most money for tickets, basically. Now, New York City, Madison Square Garden, that used to be the place where all these fights happen, but then that kind of moved to Las Vegas. Sometimes we're lucky to get stuff over here, but never do we get a fight where it's both, where the two guys fighting are big headline fighters, where it's going to come here. This should have been a Vegas fight. It should have never been over here. And I know with ticket sales, it didn't do well over here. And whenever they rematch each other, it's not going to be here in New York. But either way, it was really cool to have this massive fight here in New York City and be able to go to that and be able to go to the weigh-ins, meet so many boxers, be able to be there. And I was rooting for Devin Haney. In fact, I had a Devin Haney t-shirt on. And, well, Devin Haney lost. It was at that point I was like, you know what? I am never wearing a boxing t-shirt to a boxing event anymore, because Devin Haney should have not lost that. Like, I know for many people they think it was a possibility now, but that should have never happened. That should have never been a possibility, and Devin Haney lost. And he almost lost in the first round. That's when I really thought me wearing a t-shirt of the fighter was an actual curse, because I was there at Jake Paul's pro debut when he fought Gibb, and Gibb lost in the first round, and I had a Team Gibb t-shirt. And then I had flashbacks of that when Haney, Garcia were going at it in the first round. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, Haney was a major favorite in that fight. Like, y'all don't understand how big of an upset that is, which unfortunately for Ryan Garcia, it's not an upset anymore because it's a no contest, because Ryan Garcia was on estrogen or whatever. So now it's a no contest. So Devin Haney didn't lose. But yeah, what a crazy event. It was cool to be there. Very cool. We jump into May. We go to Sonoya, Georgia, which is where we also picked up Paper Mario Thousand Year Door with no pre-order. And then I believe the crazy story of GameStop over there was the guy, I think, if I remember correctly, the guy didn't want to sell me the game since I wasn't buying the protection plan. And when I told him I didn't need the protection plan, so I always am like, you know what, yeah, I don't need a protection plan. I don't throw my games around. And no one ever questions it. This was the first GameStop employee to question what I was saying. He was like, are you sure? I mean, you're not really throwing around the games. That doesn't really damage anything. Like I forgot what detail. He gave me like a detailed response to my response of him saying, or me saying no to the protection plan. And I was kind of thrown off because of my many years of going to GameStop. I have never had anybody, come back at my comment. And I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. And I think Editor Coleman himself was like, whoa. Because Editor Coleman has always made the jokes that no one will ever be able to come back with a response to throwing their games around. So that was interesting. But we were also in Georgia for a Walking Dead event. But luckily when we went, they had the whole MomoCon, which is an anime convention going on. And I went for one day because that one day Suda51 was there, which we got to meet Suda51 live on camera, not live, but we got to film my meeting Suda51, and he signed all my No More Heroes games, which was really cool. And we have Suda51 on the channel. In fact, I made Suda51 laugh, which I think is really funny. I mean, that's kind of crazy. it was really cool meeting Suda51. I think he would have talked to me for the longest time. The issue was he had an interpreter where the person translating what I was saying looked like he didn't even want to be there. He was trying to end the conversation early with me and Suda51. Either way, it was cool talking to Suda51, and yeah, maybe I'll meet him again next year. We will see, because I know I will more than likely be back to Georgia, and it seems like he goes to that convention every year. I got to film myself being at MomoCon. I don't think I would do it again just because I really had to do a lot of things to make that video work out. But who knows, who knows? I mean, it was cool doing that. I got to find Skylanders Imaginators for $20 there. A lot of people was like, whoa, that was a crazy steal. But that was literally the only booth that was selling Switch games. I don't know. It's something, maybe I'll bring the camera. We'll see. But I doubt I will do a MomoCon video next year, but who knows. We got to film a video at Love for Retro back in May. And what was cool about that is that is actually a brand new video game store where I've gotten close with the owner and all the employees. And it's cool to be able to walk in there. They knew who I was before I even came to that store, which I think is so crazy to think in terms of how this channel was going. A lot of people knew who I was this year, which is just crazy. We jump into June, which is where it's my 21st birthday. And then the day after my birthday, there was a Nintendo Direct, which was really cool to have a Nintendo Direct the day after my birthday. I forgot what happened in that Nintendo Direct. Off the top of my head, I don't remember, and I'm filming this super late, so we're not even going to talk about my Direct video. We're going to talk about what happened afterwards. I left for Pennsylvania, which was for Too Many Games. But before Too Many Games, we had Luigi's Mansion 2 come out on a Thursday. This is normally when a game's coming out the week of Too Many Games, I don't get to do an unboxing video. But since Nintendo has changed their release calendar to where games come out on Thursday now, I was able to go ahead and film said video. And we also had another crazy GameStop Chronicles experience. Really the only issue is that the employee was super rude. I was waiting in line to get the game, and normally when you're waiting in line, you wait for someone to tell you, hey, come on up, it's ready for you to, you know, what do you need help with, basically? This lady's like, are you just gonna stand there or what? And I was like, oh, okay, all right. So then I move up there and I'm like, hey, you got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD? And I forgot what happened, but I know she was also a jerk during that, and I think there were some issues getting the game, but at the end of the day, we got the game, and I think she also got frustrated when I said no to the protection plan. But that doesn't matter. We got the game. Hopefully Nintendo doesn't have a game coming out when Too Many Games happens again, because probably gonna have to see her again. And hopefully she doesn't watch the channel. Wow, this is gonna be awkward if she sees this video. We jump into Too Many Games, which, whoa, was not expecting that, what had happened at Too Many Games this year. Obviously, Too Many Games is such a fun convention for me, but I also have to really lock into this convention. When I say lock in, I have to film a video and then I edit what I filmed right after to have it come out the next day, because I want you guys to be able to experience Too Many Games each day, basically. I am the only YouTuber that has done that, and I think it's pretty cool. A lot of the Too Many Games employees watch this channel because of it and have given me some cool messages saying like, hey, it's really cool what you did. Keep up the amazing work. And yeah, you know, that's something I'm going to continue doing. And it's cool to see a lot of people appreciate that, because I had so many people this year at Too Many Games think that was so cool. And I met so many people this year at Too Many Games. Last year I did, but this year takes the cake. I mean, I want to say there was maybe 50, 60 people I met total of the whole weekend. I signed a bunch of Balan Wonder Worlds or Wonderlands, whatever the game's called. I signed a lot of things. Crazy event, man. I love doing Too Many Games. I'm not gonna lie, it is a struggle sometimes having to film and then edit that night, because then I'm up till like 3 or 4 a.m. and then I have to wake up at 8 or 9 to get to Too Many Games, and then I'm running on 5 hours of sleep, then have to follow the same cycle, film, edit, all that good stuff. But the payoff is so worth it because everyone enjoys it so much. And I'm going to continue doing it for now, you know. It's such a fun event. I get to meet good old beat 'em ups. A lot of people don't like the fact that I am a fan of beat 'em ups and have him on the channel. It is what it is. I mean, I have met Wood so many times that I don't think he's what people think he says he, or what people think he is in the comments of that video that he's in of mine. I think Wood is a genuinely good guy. Every time I've met him, it is a great experience. And I know a lot of people don't like that I'm saying that, but I'm sorry, guys. To me, he's a good guy. Without his channel, I don't know how far I would have made it into this YouTube scene because this channel has taken great inspiration from that channel. You're gonna see him on the channel next year, the Too Many Games, and at some point I really hope that we can do a collaboration. I'm never going to ask for the collaboration because it's gonna be awkward, but like a lifelong goal for this channel would to be have a actual proper beat 'em ups collaboration on this channel in some form. And I know whenever that does happen, because I know it will inevitably happen, I just don't know when. It's gonna frustrate a lot of people, but yeah, it was cool doing Too Many Games. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like Too Many Games as much this year because I was basically going in by myself. You know, Jackson wasn't going, Coleman wasn't going. I saw Luke, but Luke was only going for 1 day compared to 3 days. And I just wasn't sure if I was gonna have the same enjoyment because the previous years I always had somebody with me. That didn't happen this year. I obviously hung out with the J. Matthew and friends, but he had his friends and I didn't want to mess up anything that he had going, so I kind of kept my distance. We ate afterwards and stuff, and that was cool hanging out with them, the whole Tipping Star crew. But yeah, we all had a blast. It was a fun event, and I can't wait for next year's Too Many Games and see what craziness happens next year. And then the crazy thing about the Too Many Games trip is we had another trip the next week right after. I think this is the first time I think I've ever had this happen where I had back-to-back trips. We had the Southeast Game Exchange right after, which Southeast Game Exchange was also an incredible thing this year. Got to meet so many people, and it really opened the doors to doing something new this year. Now, this year we got to do a panel, and I was able to bring Coleman, Luke, and Jackson with me this year. And it was such a fun time having them on this trip. Them being able to be so close to my state, I'm not South Carolina, but it's in the Carolinas, so it was cool to have them all here. And I enjoyed that trip really much because I was able to, you know, hang out with friends. I consider them to be the closest of closest friends to me, and to be able to do everything that we were able to do that trip, it was really fun. We all stayed at the same hotel, so we were playing Switch games every night. We watched Skibidi Toilet. I got to find out what Skibidi Toilet was for the very first time during that trip. Me and Luke, we got to have some milkshakes, and everyone hated us for liking milkshakes. And I was able to bring everybody to a Zaxby's except Coleman, because Coleman was just not wanting Zaxby's, which kind of sucked because I really wanted all of us to be at Zaxby's, especially for my birthday. But Coleman decided not to go to Zaxby's, which kind of sucked. But we got to do our panel, which was really fun, and a lot of drama with that panel, behind the scenes stuff that I am not going to talk about. But the panel was very stressful for me because I had so much going on with that. Luckily we got it all resolved and we're all good, and I think we're all gonna hopefully do a panel next year. The interesting thing about the panel that a lot of people don't realize, it wasn't my idea to actually do the panel. It was the person editing this video's idea. And I think what the craziest thing was, he suggested this panel and then immediately hated doing the panel. He was like, oh my God, we're gonna have no one show up to the panel. And then he was like, oh my God, we are gonna have people show up to the panel. This is horrible, this is bad, this is bad. Very interesting from Coleman. I don't know what the perspective of Coleman was, where, you know, we were gonna have people and that was a bad thing, or we weren't gonna have people and that was a bad thing. Bro, he was the one that suggested. I was never going to do a panel, unless the convention asked, of course. But Coleman suggested it, and we did it. MonadoMax and friends. We had an absolute blast. There's a cool photo of us. It was a fun time. And We're going to do it next year, I believe. So stay tuned. If you guys want to go to Southeast Game Exchange, you can see us. We did really well for the first panel. The owner of Southeast Game Exchange was really happy with it. He told me, hey, you had a really good turnout for the first panel. We had more people at our panel than we did the guy that made the E.T. Atari game. So you know what? I consider that a big W. July, we just had all our Southeast Game Exchange videos really come out. We had the Nintendo World Championship video. I don't remember if anything crazy happened. Oh, yep, now I remember what happened in that one. The person did not know how to spell the words NES. I believe that's what happened. NES. Yes, the letters NES. Yeah. That actually happened. We have that on camera. We played the worst Nintendo Switch game of all time live on stream, and then we made it into a highlight video where it was Troll Night. That was an experience. Oh my goodness. I got to do a serious video in August talking about the Nintendo Switch scene was dying and how Nintendo YouTubers are struggling. And I explained that I wasn't struggling with it, but I wanted to tell you guys of how much of an issue things have been with YouTube and Nintendo because of the fact of all these Switch 2 videos coming out, that it was really ruining everything that had people making Nintendo-based videos. And a lot of people did not really get a chance to see it till a lot of people were talking about it. I think after I did this video, I think Nintendo Prime might have done a video. I think Beat 'em Ups, I think, talked about it on the Nintendo podcast about how much of a struggle it had been making Nintendo content this year. And like I said before, we didn't have that issue this year. Viewership was such a high thing for us this year. We really crushed it this year, and I really thank y'all for that because we shouldn't have with everything that was going on. Which August was a very crazy month for me because actually we had this built, the shelf. Oh my goodness gracious, it existed. After months and months of talking about it, me and my grandpa did it. And I decided it would be cool to film it since we've anticipated hyped up this shelf for so long. We filmed it and it made a really good video having that shelf. I love what I did. I think I was really creative where I put it. Everyone doubted me for where I was putting it, but I had a reason. And I think if you were in my room, it probably looks weird. But in terms of the camera, with what you guys are seeing right now, it looks absolutely incredible. Everything's in frame. Maybe it doesn't look exactly 100% normal right now because we're sitting down. We have a little bit of a different angle, but yeah, I think we did a really good job with this shelf, and we have too many Switch games. Everyone's like, where's the next shelf gonna be? We don't have space for another shelf. So yeah, I don't know. When the Switch 2 stuff comes out, I guess I will move Switch stuff down there. I have my Wii U games. I moved those over here. They're typically in the other room, but yeah, that's a story for another day. After that, I got to make a super crazy video called A Closing Chapter, which if y'all didn't see that video, y'all should go back and watch that because that was a video that a lot of people are surprised I made, and I think I'm kind of surprised, but not anymore. I really talked about my health and how I was having surgery with my implant port being removed. And yeah, it was like a 45-minute video of me talking about my whole health journey because I had something called hemophilia. A lot of people didn't realize that. And I was very personal about it. I went really in detail with it, which was a crazy thing for me to do because if y'all know me, at least this would be more for the IRLs and online friends, they would know that I don't like talking about it. And I did. I talked about it. And yeah, I got to talk about it. We had the surgery. It was interesting. I had 2 weeks off. What a lot of people don't know is I should have taken a break from YouTube, but I said I was going to take a break from YouTube. I still ended up not taking a break from YouTube because I still was making videos. I was making videos while injured because I was just enjoying it so much. I enjoy doing this so much that I don't want to ever take a break. It's weird. I need to take a break, but I was enjoying it. Made a video on Pizza Tower and Emo, the Smiling Man, and yeah, it was funny because like I was in so much pain while filming those videos, but I wanted to do it so bad, so I was editing while filming and supposed to take a break, but I got to take that break somewhat, and I got to play games. Really nice because normally I don't have the time to play those games because I do this, my other job, the boxing, all that good stuff, but I got to play a lot of games this year. I think I really did time management well this year. I hope to do better with it next year and be able to play more games. So yeah, August ended. There was no trip, but you know, I did have that surgery, so that was kind of a trip in itself since they put me to sleep. September came. Nothing really crazy happened in September off the top of my head. We filmed our videos. We got our videos done. We had, I think, the first time ever where a GameStop video ended up working out for us easy, and that was the Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which that should have not been an easy video because everyone struggled to get that game because there was delays at GameStop with their pre-orders, but there was none at ours, and we got it so easy, and it was the first successful thing when it came to GameStop, at least when it came to this year on camera. And yeah, that was pretty crazy. We also had our lollipop chainsaw video that ended up being one of our most popular videos of all time. Also ended up being one of our most hated videos of all time. And now I think more people are like, oh, MonadoMax kind of had some points with that video. Because a lot of people are hating on that before they even played the game. And I was telling them that Lollipop Chainsaw Repop was running horrible on Nintendo Switch. I showed footage of this. And I said that all the issues that this game was having, it should have been delayed. They forced it out, and it did not need to come out the way that they released it. I was right. Everyone believes it now, and that issue, I believe, has been resolved now, but I still stand by what that video said. It should have been delayed. A lot of the issues that happened in that game should have not been day one issues, and they really rushed it out, in my opinion. It was really cool being able to do that one. I had to stay up super late to play that game and edit it, so I stayed up probably from midnight to 5 a.m. playing it, then filmed the video, then edited it, all that good stuff, because I wanted to make sure I put enough good time to tell you how it ran, compare it to previous levels of the game, and all that good stuff. And we got the video done. It was really cool. I wish I could do that for more games. I wish I'd be able to get the review out the day that the game came out. Don't really know how I can get review codes for some of these big releases, but it'd be cool to do it because I enjoyed doing it so much, talking about Switch ports. Speaking of third-party games, this is when I decided to go ahead and end the third-party game series. I had always dreamed of making 10 parts into the top 10 best Nintendo Switch third-party games videos, but I never thought that would happen because I always thought the Switch 2 might come out at some point, and it always took me forever to make those videos. Luckily, we locked in and we were able to make that dream possible, and we made 10 of those videos, which means we reviewed 100 third-party Switch games. It was cool to do that, and it was something very special to me because a lot of people wasn't really talking about third-party games, and I think now people more are talking about it. But I was kind of like, I was one of the first people that really cared about third-party games on the Switch and talked about it, so it was cool to be able to do that. And kind of a closing chapter. We go into October, which was a big month for us. We went to Arkansas because we got invited to Retro Fest Arkansas, which if you guys don't know, that is Retro Rick's event. And that was a big event for me because I ended up going to Arkansas and filming not 1, not 2, not 3, but 8 videos that whole week. 4 videos at the con, 4 videos outside of the con. Went to his store, Retro Rick. Incredible store. Rick is just overall phenomenal guy. I got to hang out with so many of the friends that I've made through YouTube that weekend, like Phoenix Resell, Retro Wolf, so many friends there. It was a blast, and yeah, looking forward to doing that event next year. It's gonna be a blast. Cannot wait. I was very surprised once again how many people knew who I was when I was there, because I knew that was obviously going to be a smaller event, so I didn't know if it was possible that there would be a lot of people that knew who I was. But yeah, a lot of people knew who I was there, and I just was very surprised. Very surprising thing, and I'm very happy about it, and I'm very thankful. It was so cool to be able to do these events. I hope to do more. I really want to do more of these events because I enjoy doing them so much. I enjoy filming it. They make great videos, and yeah, it was the first time I did a different gaming convention that wasn't Too Many Games or Southeast Game Exchange. I had done those 2 conventions for the last, 4 years? Haven't done a different gaming convention since, so It was cool being able to do that, and shout out to Rick for having me out for that event. Also forgot, at some point I ended up buying this piece of hardware. I think it was around May is when I bought this, May or June. I noticed that I think the only thing, in my opinion, I feel like the only thing we were lacking in terms of YouTube equipment was a better microphone. So I ended up buying this microphone. Phoenix Resell, I asked what he used. He sent me a link. I ended up buying it, and here we are. We got it right here. It's the DJI Mic 2, I think is what it was called. I think we've done really well with our equipment. If we needed better equipment, I think the only thing we need better equipment of is maybe lighting. That's about it. And yeah, I think everything else, we have crushed it. I don't think we need a new camera anytime soon. But knock on wood, I don't want this camera to break on me now. Jumped into November. We released a lot of our Retrofest Arkansas videos. We had our retro rig video come out of going to a store. So cool being able to film that video. That was one of my favorite videos. And that's probably like a top 2 favorite video of mine. Top 1, maybe the #1 favorite video I've done on this channel. Just because it was so cool being there. I never in a million years expected, well, I knew at some point I would be at a store, but I never expected 2024 to be the year that I went to his store. And it happened. We made a good video, and I think it was just such a blast. It was awesome. I do want to address the fact that we did not have the Thanksgiving special come out this year. Just to be honest with you guys, the channel is at a space that I don't think these specials make sense anymore. Those take so much out of me. I am such a busy person as it is already. With what I have in the script in mind of the Wacky Tacky Thanksgiving special, it doesn't make sense to take that time and effort because I end up doing so much for those videos. And I know now with the channel being bigger, people would probably be more interested in watching those, but they just take too much work, man. And this one was gonna be the most difficult one compared to the Halloween special. I think at some point we might be able to do it. I am not expecting it for 2025. It might never come out, just to be honest. But at some point it could happen. At some point it may never happen. It's not something I'm committing to anymore. It's something that doesn't make sense anymore, to be honest with y'all guys. It's just, I'm gonna put in all that work and no one's even gonna watch it, you know? And I don't really necessarily do this for people to watch it, but I definitely don't want a project like that where I'm putting over a month into it to do worse than something that takes me just a few hours to make. I'm sure y'all get it, and I explained it before on stream. It just, we're at a point in the channel where I gotta start being more smart with what I'm doing with terms of videos. We also went ahead and released all the third-party games videos into one giant video. Y'all actually really liked it because it ended up being an almost 4-hour video. We're gonna start doing that a few more times with other videos, and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that again soon. We released our holiday buying guide, which was really fun because we made it a Black Friday plus a holiday guide because all the things that I talked about ended up being on sale. So it was just a really cool video to do that. We also got to go to the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. Now, I know I didn't film anything, so I probably really shouldn't be bringing that up onto this channel right now, but I want to look back into this video when I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm 60 when I'm watching my YouTube channel. I don't like watching my videos as it is right now. So at some point, it's going to be way older when I watch these videos. But yeah, we got to go see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. I was there every single day for something with the event. It was awesome. I was there from Monday to Saturday, Texas. It was a fun trip because there was a movie theater right beside my hotel. So I got to go see a movie every single day. And it was all A24 movies, bro. It was super cool being there. Oh my gosh, that was a fun trip. Top tier trip. I didn't film anything because I wanted that to be a pure just a vacation for me. Because every trip that I took this year was filmed. And I was just like, you know what? We're going to take a trip where I'm not filming something. Not necessarily that I was getting burnt out. I don't think I will ever get burnt out, knock on wood. I just felt like I needed to take a trip, you know, where just a vacation from the YouTube channel. And this was the perfect one because it was boxing. I was able to do movies. I was able to, you know, still buy games for the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, that was such a fun trip, and it was cool being there. I got to see Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano too. That one was a fun one for me because it was the first time where someone I was rooting for actually won in terms of me being at a fight. Because obviously I was at Haney Garcia, rooted for Haney. He lost. Didn't lose now, but he lost that day. And Katie Taylor, she won. That was a very special win because I had the exact score. I know a lot of people thought that fight was a robbery, but close fights aren't robberies. I felt Katie Taylor was the clear winner, scored the same 95-94. I don't know why I'm telling you guys all these boxing knowledge stuff that I'm telling you right now, because I know 95% of y'all do not care about what I'm saying when it comes to boxing, but it was really cool seeing that because Katie Taylor, you know, she went on the enemy's turf basically. She fought on a Jake Paul show and still ended up beating Amanda Serrano. Because, you know, the Serrano team was complaining about so many things in the first fight. I'm pretty sure Jake Paul was saying that Amanda Serrano only lost because it was an Eddie Hearn show. So it was funny to see that Katie Taylor beat his fighter on a Jake Paul show. It was just cool. I love Katie Taylor's story. I think Katie Taylor is one of the greatest fighters out there. And just to be there at one of her fights, which could have potentially be one of her last fights. You know, I think at some point she's going to retire. She's getting at that age. And yeah, I'm done talking about boxing. I'm sorry, I just wanted to talk about it. It was so fun being there. I have a Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano poster out there. Got a Mike Tyson Punch-Out sign thing over here, framed with an NES controller. That was a top tier trip for myself. And then we jump in December. Nothing really crazy happened. We made great videos. We had Christmas, all that good stuff. But just recently, I believe it's yesterday. Was it yesterday that I found this out? Or it might have been the day before. My whole thing is messed up right now because of me being sick right now. Everything's thrown off for me right now. Just found out that my sister is having another kid, so I'm about to be an uncle ×2 right now. So that's kind of cool. I think before we filmed this video, and I had maybe announced that. I don't remember the timeline of events. I don't remember. Either way, I'm gonna be an uncle again. So, well, I'm already an uncle, but I'm about to be uncle ×2. Is that what you would say? I don't know. Am I saying that correctly? I don't know. Either way, just found that out, so that's super exciting. I think that's probably the only crazy thing that happened in December. We filmed our Game Awards video. That was cool because the Game Awards is super awesome. I would really like to do the Game Awards at some point. It was something that me and the lads talked about doing maybe for this year. We talked about it last year. We didn't pursue with it this year. Maybe 2025 we'll do it. I don't know. I don't know. That also brings us to 2025 plans. Now, obviously, 2024 goals. There were some that we hit, some that we didn't. Let's talk about it. The weight. Obviously, I wanted to be under 200 pounds, and we got close to that, very close. But what ended up happening is we had so many trips at some point at the second half of this year that they were all so close to each other that it was hard for me to stay on the program. From June to August was all crazy. And yeah, so we didn't get under 200 pounds, but I think it's one of those things that might have been a blessing in disguise from what I'm being told. Obviously, you guys know I want to be taking boxing super serious when I have a boxing fight. The goal is to get on Misfits. Mams Taylor, KSI's manager, already follows me on Twitter. I talk to him every now and then, so that's pretty cool. But obviously, I want to take boxing very serious, so I'm going to be lifting. And from what I'm learning, I wanted to lift when I became under 200 pounds, but I'm doing it all wrong. I needed to be lifting right now, which is something I've done early progress of. And in a few weeks, I'll be taking the lifting very serious. It's just, I really wanted to do that when I was under 200 pounds. I know when you lift, you're going to lose weight, but you're also going to gain weight from the muscle that you're gaining. So I'm really scared that I might not be under 200 pounds, which is unfortunate, but with how things are, I just think I'm stuck. I might be 220, 230. I really wanted to be in a position where I could fight a cruiser and heavyweight, where I could switch in between cruiser and heavy, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Hopefully it does, but if it doesn't, we'll be in shape. Hopefully we'll be in really good shape by the end of 2025, where muscles are really showing at least. and that's definitely a goal. In terms of YouTube, where do I want to be? It all depends when the Nintendo Switch 2 actually comes out. I said it last year, I believe, in this video, that I wasn't really sure if the Switch 2 was going to come out last year. I think I even hinted that last year might not be, or 2024 might not be a good year for Nintendo YouTubers, because I think I was saying I just had a feeling that the Switch 2 was not going to come out in 2024. It didn't make sense to me. Like, I thought it was a possibility, but I was just like, God, I don't think this is gonna happen. It doesn't make sense. Ended up being the case. But we don't know when the Switch 2 is coming out. I don't think the Switch 2 is going to come out as like a fall thing. I think Nintendo wants to stay away from being released in the Christmas year. They want to be released in the middle of the year is what I'm thinking, so they have enough things made to sell crazy numbers during Christmas, is what I honestly think. I think the Switch was so successful because it didn't get released in the holiday calendar, because most consoles typically get released in that October-November range. The Switch came out March 2017, yeah. And I think it was so successful because of it being released that early. I think Nintendo's going to want to do something similar, but I don't think it's going to come out in March, since we don't even know what the system's called or seen it yet by the time this video is being filmed. So I'm saying maybe June, July is when the Switch 2 will come out, but we will obviously see in due time. So with that being said, it's hard for me to make YouTube goals without knowing that, because I know whenever that system releases, that's when this channel is going to really be successful. I am going to be doing crazy things when that thing comes out. I already have something crazy planned. Can't talk about it, but we'll come back to it this moment in the next year's recap video. And it's going to be special, guys. It's going to be special. There might be some hints if you really paid attention to something that I talked about in this video already. That's the one hint I'm telling you. You guys can guess in the comments. I'm not replying or liking anything or denying or confirming anything in the comments. So speculate. So I feel like... And I know I said 20,000 subscribers last year, but I said that kind of with the system in mind coming out, but also was like, I don't know if this system's going to come out. So we ended the year with 15,000 subscribers. Very happy with that. It's the first time we didn't double in subscriber growth, but that's okay. We doubled in everything else, sometimes tripled in certain things, quadrupled. Anyways, I'm going to say 25,000 subscribers. 25. If the system comes out pretty early into the next year, I think 30,000 is possible, but who knows? I think we're really going to do crazy things with this channel once the Switch 2 comes out. I plan on actually going part-time as soon as the Switch 2 comes out. What y'all don't know is we talked about going part-time last year as like a goal, but I decided not to do it this year. We could have done it with the money that this YouTube channel is making now, but it doesn't make sense to me financially to do it yet, because I don't think this YouTube channel is going to benefit off me being part-time yet until the Switch 2 comes out, because we don't really have enough videos to do 3 times a week. And when the Switch 2 does come out, I know we'll be able to do 3 times a week every single week, because we're just gonna have so many things to do with that YouTube. With the YouTube, the system, it is going to be exciting to be a Nintendo YouTuber in 2025. We need to get the license. That has to be a goal for 2025. I was just way too busy. A lot of things happened to where I couldn't do it this year. Just a lot of things. But it's going to happen for 2025. And I definitely want to go part-time. Maybe, I don't even know if this is a possibility, but it would be cool to, by the end of 2025, be a full-time YouTuber. Will that happen? I think there's a good chance of it, but we're not going to put it as a goal to where I am going to be disappointed in myself if I don't hit said goal. And then, like I said, the weight. I don't necessarily have a weight goal now for 2025, just due to the fact that now I have to lift. And I don't know, I feel like, you know, the muscle weighs a lot, so I don't know where I'm going to be in weight. I just want to, I guess a good goal for 2025 when it comes to weight is to be able to show muscle. I think that's a good goal to say if we don't have a weight goal in mind. Just be super successful in boxing. I'm already doing really well with the boxing. I want to do more with boxing in 2025. That's a big goal for me. Now that I have my implanted port taken out, I can take boxing very, very serious now. So that's going to be very exciting. I feel like off the top of my head, that's all I have in mind for goals. I'm probably forgetting something super crazy. Oh, streaming. Yes, I would like to stream more. I think in terms of YouTube, that is the one thing that I have not. So we've done super good with streaming this year. We streamed almost every single week. But I want to be at a point to where I can stream maybe 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm hoping whenever I decide to go part-time with my other job, I can put more time into streaming and making videos. I feel like streaming is a big thing that I'm missing out on. And yeah, that's one thing I would really like to start doing more of when I go part-time. I also want to focus more on shorts. We did really well with shorts this year. But towards the last quarter, we kind of had to stop uploading. I've not had a chance to tell people why. But I am in a YouTube community server, an official one with the shorts, because I'm actually a YouTube partner. I don't know if I've told you guys that, but we ended up being a YouTube partner last year. We got accepted for it. They emailed us and I was like, okay, let's do it. But YouTube made this update to where you can do 3-minute shorts, and it's still being worked out because those videos pop up in the sub feed. Like, it's a whole issue with the algorithm that it's messing people's performance up on newer shorts. I'm in a server where everyone's talking about it, and YouTube is still struggling to fix it with the new 3-minute update. That I was like, I don't want to be putting out these shorts, these really good shorts, and people not see, and the algorithm's messing it up or no one's seeing it. So we kind of took a break from doing the shorts. But whenever YouTube fixes it, I want to go back to doing 3 a week. I didn't tell anybody this, but I'm sure you might have realized I stopped doing shorts on Saturday and Sunday just to the fact that I wanted those days to be, even though I'm working, I wanted to take a break from YouTube on those days. It was getting a little bit too much to be able to upload those every single day when we're not uploading a YouTube video. So I'd like to, at some point, come back to 3 times a week of YouTube shorts whenever YouTube fixes this issue that they got going on with their shorts, which hopefully should be fixed in a few weeks, or at least a month or 2 from now, whenever they update it to show in the Shorts app rather than a YouTube video. It's a whole issue going on. If you guys aren't doing YouTube Shorts, you don't know what I'm talking about right now. I think that's it. I think that's everything I want to say. I feel like I'm probably forgetting something big, but yeah. Guys, thank y'all so much for everything. We have done so well on YouTube this year, and that could have not happened if it wasn't for you guys watching the channel. So thank y'all very much. I greatly appreciate y'all. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button because we've been talking for way too much. 2025 is our year, guys. It is the year of the Monado. I'm telling y'all, we are going to be doing crazy things. 2025 is going to be an even bigger year for this channel. I cannot wait. The things I already have planned and the things that I don't even know what's going to happen yet, it's just going to be exciting. Lock in, guys. It is our time. I'm telling y'all. If you are not a part of the team yet, make sure to subscribe. Backslash that subscribe button. Become a Monado Marine. $5 a month. Check out the Twitter, Instagram, Discord server, P.O. Box. We opened up a P.O. Box this year. I want to do a video on what's being sent at the P.O. Box at some point. And yeah, guys, I will see you guys the next video, which is going to be next year. Coleman's going to have a blast editing this over a 1-hour video. Bye, guys. Bye.